Native American Heritage Month. And I would like to pay honor to my grandparents. My great-great-great-grandparents were affected in 1838 by the Trail of Tears when the Cherokee and all the southeastern Indians were marched from their lands in the western North Carolina and East Tennessee mountains, marched across and out west of the Mississippi River to Indian Territory because that land was land that the white man would prefer to have. So that many thousands were lost. But there were about 800 renegades, as they were called, Cherokee people that refused to go on that Trail of Tears. And I am proud to say that I am descended from those renegades. That my great-great-grandparents hid out in the caves. They refused to be displaced from their land, isolated out west where they knew no one or knew a way of life. Because the mountains of East Tennessee and western North Carolina are much different than the plains of Oklahoma. It's a land they didn't know how to cultivate, a land they didn't know how to live on, because they had only come from the fertile mountains, and that's what they knew. But my great-grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee, so my grandmother was half Cherokee. And she was taught from an early age, because she was born in 1906, when Cherokee children were still being rounded up and sent out west. She was taught to keep it a secret, to not let anybody know that she was Cherokee. So she never talked about it or let people know that she was part Indian. My grandfather was also part Cherokee, but he was ashamed of that Cherokee blood. And I am proud to stand here today along with all of my cousins saying that we are not ashamed of that blood. We are proud to be descended from those people. My mom and my uncles will tell stories of when they were very small, and my grandmother's people would come across the mountain to check on her to see how she was doing. My grandmother and grandfather ended up having 14 children. At that time, they probably had 6. And my grandmother's family from her mother would come across the mountain to see how she was doing. But my grandfather, being not accepting of the Native American ways, the Cherokee ways, would not allow them on the property. So they would make camp in the woods nearby. And so after my grandmother had put everybody to bed, had dinner fixed, everybody had eaten and gone to bed, then she could go out and be with her family in the woods, drumming and telling stories by the fire all night. And my mom and her older brothers would sneak out and try to listen to some of that so that they could learn a little bit of their heritage and learn who they came from. Then as the years passed, fewer and fewer came over. And my mother and her siblings were not allowed to say they were Cherokee in any way at school because my grandmother still feared that they might be rounded up and taken away. But how wonderful that now, in today's world, we don't have to live in fear and isolation. We can claim that heritage and say, we are proud to be Cherokee, that we are proud to be one of the principal people, that we are proud to be one of the tribe. So what I say to you, as we come together as a people, as a tribe, here we are a spiritual tribe, just the same as my ancestors were a tribe. So let's all just come together and embrace each other in love, no matter our differences, no matter our skin color. We can embrace each other in love. And so it is.